also depends, don't you think, having gone from California to South Carolina, like what are you looking for? We wanted less to maintain.
Yes.
We had an RV side yard.
And a pond that had to be cleaned.
And we had,
Constantly.
shrubbery and, we wanted something that was very, very different. There are many people that are moving here. This is their retirement city, town, home. They want to have the golf cart and they don't want to be taken care of nothing. They just want to live their best life. And why shouldn't they? Or why shouldn't you?
Right.
is the better question.
Yeah. Welcome back to the Gen X Realtors in the Low Country channel. I'm Dan.
I'm Angel.
This is part 1 of 2. Today we are talking about home prices, comparing California to South Carolina, and we're talking about cost of living. Now, what makes this different than other channels you may have seen is that we are in the trenches. We have lived in California. We have visited these places that we're talking to you about. We know firsthand what it's like. Her having lived there
my whole life,
and me for over 30 years. And then just recently we relocated to South Carolina. And then there will be a part 2 where we will talk about property taxes. We will also talk about insurance in various places. So let's get started.
All right, let's talk about home prices there versus here.
Yeah.
So obviously California is near and dear to our heart. It's always going to be beautiful. It's always going to be like, I don't want to say home, but like it's my native state. Never going to find me saying, because there are things that are yucky, but that state's gorgeous. And when you live there, as you know, like you don't ever really think that another state could be as pretty or another state could be as fun to explore or, whatever. We're here to tell you that is not the case. We came on vacation 2 times before we put money in this state. So highly recommend if you're just dreaming of moving to the Charleston area, come on vacation and then come back and we can show you some of these beautiful, beautiful homes in these incredibly gorgeous neighborhoods. Some of them we're comparing, like we're going to talk about Mount Pleasant, which is a suburb of Charleston. And it to me, it reminds me of Orange County. Like we used to live in Orange County. We've got near and dear friends, lifelong friends that still live there.
It gives off that vibe, that
100%
cool, coastal, hip, trendy.
Great shopping, great restaurants, things to do. You're close to everything, but you're not on top of it. Like living in LA County. Like if you live in Orange County, you know what I'm talking about. Yeah. They don't want to live in LA County. They swoop into LA County. And anyway, same thing with Mount Pleasant. Mount Pleasant is separated by the
Ravenel Bridge.
Ravenel Bridge. I do not enjoy driving that.
It's beautiful though.
Yeah, I'm getting better.
It's a neat looking bridge.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
They take pictures of it for everything.
Yeah. Anytime you see like a picture of Charleston, they get the Ravenel in there. But that's what separates Charleston from Mount Pleasant. So that's kind of why it's extra.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just
you get to dip into Charleston and dip back out.
Okay, so if we were going to compare apples to apples, I tried to get a city that was in California as far as home prices that was roughly the same distance as we are from the water. So we're about 51 minutes to be exact from the beaches. Isle of Palms, Sullivan's Island, Folly Beach. Those are the top 3. There's other little hidden gems that we're still discovering, but those are the 3 big dogs that you go to when you go to the warm water beaches of South Carolina because they are gorgeous.
Yes.
And Poway is about the same distance to the water if we're going to compare apples to apples of how long it's going to take you to get to the water, always depending on traffic.
That place is close to San Diego, right?
Right. Sorry. Poway is right outside of San Diego. Anyway, Poway, a 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 2,000 square foot home that I have to tell you, for those of you on the podcast that you cannot see this, you have to watch this part of the video. It's this color blue. The house was this color of blue.
Like a sky blue? Is that how you would?
Sure. It is running $999,000. Price per square foot was $495.
Wow.
So, it's California. Anyway.
That's what it costs.
So here in South Carolina, a 4-bedroom, 2-bath house here in Summerville, like I said, trying to do apples to apples, a 2,200 square foot house.
Wow.
And then this one is built in 2021, $455,000. And it's on like this community that it's on, that it is.
It's got a man-made lake in the backyard.
Yeah, that's what you can like, take your little kayak out to it. So,
so you sell your house in Poway and retire on the proceeds after you bought the house in Summerville
That wouldn't suck.
for full price.
That wouldn't suck at all. It also depends, don't you think, having gone from California to South Carolina, like what are you looking for? We wanted less to maintain.
Yes.
We had an RV side yard. We had lots of,
And a pond that had to be cleaned.
and we had,
Constantly.
shrubbery, and, we wanted something that was very, very different. There are many people that are moving here. This is their retirement city, town, home. They want to have the golf cart and they don't want to be taking care of nothing. They just want to live their best life. And why shouldn't they? Or why shouldn't you?
Right.
is the better question.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, if you are watching us on YouTube or listening on the podcast, leave a comment on YouTube. We want to hear from you. What do you think of the differences between South Carolina and California? And then if you're on the podcast, leave us an email at
Gen X Realtors LC, that's Larry Charles, at gmail.com.
I cannot wait for the Gen X fun fact. I'm excited.
It's
for
a good
that.
one.
Okay. Just by the way, he does Gen X fun facts in our videos because
Yes,
we're Gen
so
Xers and it's the best time.
You have to listen to the whole thing. Like if you skip, you'll miss it.
So anyway, back to comparing apples to apples and like what we sold versus what we bought. Like we wanted to go and explore where we are. We didn't want to be bogged down with like pool maintenance and yard work and all the stuff that comes from owning a home. We wanted something.
We want days off to be days off,
Yeah, exactly. And we just wanted a lot less. So if that's you, we get it. We didn't want to move and feel like we were just trying to duplicate what we had in California. We wanted clean, easy. Okay, we can just button it up, put the dog in the backyard and go.
Yep.
Did you want to share that story about the dog walk today?
Oh, sure. So this is the second time this has happened. We take the dog for a walk and he smells everything for hours at a time. Like he could sit in one spot and smell a piece of grass for 15 minutes if we let him. And then the other thing, he likes to mark his territory every 20, 30 feet, right? So at one point during the walk, he just is not doing anything. He's just walking. We're on the sidewalk. He's not sniffing anything. He's not peeing on anything. And I'm like, this is weird. I like it, but it's weird. So I look around at his face and there's something sticking out of his mouth. And I'm like, you punk. And I'm like, drop it. He drops this red, long thing with dirt on it that he's been carrying around in his mouth for the past 2 blocks, trying to like be sneaky about it and keep it from me until he could get home and like eat it or whatever he was going to do with it. The first time that it happened, I want to say it was like a rat pelvis or something. It was some part of an animal that he had in his mouth and he was like trying to be coy and not let us know he had something in his mouth. That one I had a wrench out of his mouth and it's like, are we not feeding you enough? Or
He's part terrier and part lab. So he's
retrieving things
and,
on the walks.
And nonstop eating. We say terrier versus the other word because that one will get homeowners insurance canceled.
Yeah.
So he's a terrier mix.
Yeah. So fun little side story.
Yeah. Back to the home is there are walking paths all in this community that you will be a part of if you were to buy this property that's, $455,000.
A bargain.
You can walk your dog and put it out in the pond and be good to go. Anyway, we wanted something low maintenance is where I was going with that statement. If you are considering what that move would look like, do you want to just duplicate what you have or do you want to have a whole different way of living and life?
Yeah.
Like,
do you want to reinvent your environment? You can do that here.
Yeah. And it's not as earth shattering as it feels on the front end. Like I wouldn't say we mapped that out of like, I want a low maintenance life. I want to make sure we don't have yard work or whatever. We just knew like, I don't want to do that there. This is a different season. We're in this, like, we're not retiring, but we're closer than we were 20 years ago.
Right. And we want to travel and spend our free time free.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So it just made things easier. So I would absolutely advise if you have any reservations about what your house could look like, what you want it to look like, there are plenty of options here. If you want to just duplicate what you've got in California, we've got that. That might not be something that, it rattles your cage like it did us. But for us, we wanted something clean, easy, low maintenance. We wanted a HOA, the pool, all the stuff that comes with living in a community like where we live.
Yep.
So back to the apples to apples. So again, looking at a house in Mission Viejo, if I'm looking in Orange County, I'm looking at a 3-bedroom, 3-bath house with 2,300 square feet. It's 1.35 built in 1965.
$1
million. And it's, it's in Mission Viejo. It's beautiful. Again, you're not at the beach, you're not on the beach, but you're close enough to it. You're still in South Orange County, off the 405/5 area down there. But, it's nice. So Mount Pleasant, as we talked about before.
Let's hear it.
Is a 4-bedroom, 3-bath house, 2,200 square feet, 2,200 and change, $875,000. Built in 2007. So, you just want to consider what the cost of the move is going to be for you.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's the fear of leaving a place that maybe you grew up there. There's the fear of, how's it going to be when I get there in terms of the weather or the traffic or whatever those cases may be. But like we've said all the time, it's, the windshield is bigger than the rearview mirror. So we want to move forward. Here's the worst case scenario. You don't like it here, you could move back.
Oh, 100%.
But I don't think you would.
There are very few things on this side of heaven that are permanent. So if you wanted to come here and realize that it's not for you, yes, I'm sure they would let you move back. Nobody's going to stop you. But
we can help you buy your house, and then we can help you sell
there
it
you go.
2 years later.
Yeah. And if you're considering what that would look like, we'd love to break down all the particulars for you at no charge to you, no cost to you. You book a call with us at calendly.com. The link is in the description on both the podcast and the YouTube channel. And our calendar comes up. Availability. Again, we're not going to stalk you. We're not going to hold your feet to the fire. We're just going to help you sort out whatever your details are. And then we can maybe start to put you up on a drip where you're starting to get houses, because this could be a year and a half on your radar, or it could be 90 days on your radar.
Right.
Either way, we want to help you because we're here firsthand to tell you, California is great. South Carolina is greater.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we're helping you and not making you feel bad for, wanting to leave or not wanting to leave, because you've probably got friends and family and community and a church and places that you love to go for your, matcha latte or whatever that. But, living near Charleston is a lot like living near, LA, in the sense you could go in, swoop in, do the cool things, go to, the airport's right there, all of those kinds of things, but you don't have to pay the Charleston prices. But if you want to move to Charleston, there's plenty of properties over there. The historic properties are
they're golden.
Yeah. So anyway, you wanted to talk next about cost of living. This is Dan's.
Yes, I am passionate about this because I despised paying the utility bills in California. We had paid for solar on our house. And during the summertime, we were over $400 on an electric bill. This can't be possible. Well, when I dug into the bills, California versus South Carolina. For example, we had this peak off peak, okay? So off peak was anything up until 4 p.m. And then from 4 p.m. to 9 p.m., you were on peak times, meaning your electricity was costing you more. So off peak, we were getting charged 48.7 cents per kilowatt hour.
Oh,
and then peak, we were getting charged 59 cents per kilowatt hour. Now,
is this between the 4 to 7? Is that's
the 4 to 9 is
4
peak?
To 9,
yeah,
right.
4 to 9 is peak. South Carolina, I kid you not, the kilowatt hour cost, regardless of time of day, 12.6 cents a kilowatt hour. So it's a quarter of what California was charging for electricity.
Well, we had clients that they would get a solar lease. And there's very little to no solar here. People have solar.
People don't need it.
There are, our neighbors have it. They've got 2 electric cars, so maybe they're trying to offset there, but it's just not a thing here like it is in California. Anyway, all that to say, I had clients in California that they were, the lowest they could get was 18 cents with a solar lease.
Wow.
12 cents for rent.
Yeah, so then with the solar lease, that means you're paying hundreds of dollars for the lease, just to offset your normal electricity costs.
Yeah.
Now, here's another thing. You look at the add-ons, right? Because with anything with California, there's random stuff they stick on there because they're California.
We are not fans of PG&E. And just by the way, in the year 2024, depending on where you live, is still associated with PG&E. Their profits were $2.47 billion for the year 2024, and they did 5 rate hikes in 2024.
Wow.
Nobody voted for that. And I don't know, when we were there, ours was going up, up, up. And like, you think about what that does to your household numbers. Geez, oh, Pete.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, let me give you an example. There's a charge on here called Electric Public Purpose Programs.
Good Lord. It's alliteration almost.
Yeah. So it's like on this bill, it was like $51. You know what that covers? It offsets low-income housing for their electricity. So I'm paying for somebody else's electricity. You know how you get stuff in your electric bill where it's like, hey, if you buy a energy efficient fridge, we'll give you X amount of money back. That charge is what allows them to give you the credits on the appliances.
So I'm paying for the charge that I'm getting saved on?
So I'm paying for the rebates that I'm taking advantage of through PG&E.
No.
What?
And then the last thing is renewable energy development is the third part of that charge.
Are you saying that we're paying for the electric charging?
We're paying for the electric company to investigate or invest in alternate ways of producing electricity.
No. It's unsettling. Again, we're not here to just bash California because that's easy and that's not fun to watch or listen to. The point we're trying to make is that it doesn't have to be that hard. It doesn't have to be like costly just to turn on your dishwasher, for crying out loud.
Or a light.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be that hard. And if you can make the move to a place that's less regulated, I guess, why not?
Yeah.
Quality of life, right? It just feels like you're beating your head against the wall. Like you just feel like you're on a hamster wheel of like, when are we going to get like
when's it gonna get easier?
And honestly, again, that was a very strong reason that we started to consider our move. And that might be you as well, of like, does it really have to be like this forever? Like, am I going to be doing this 3 days before I retire? Like, what's that going to look like?
If you look at the PG&E bill, there's probably like 5 or 6 different charges that have nothing to do with the electricity that they're delivering to your house. And contrasting that, on the South Carolina bill, they charge you 99 cents a day for the ability to have electricity. So, okay, $30. And then they're charging us $3.20 for streetlights, which I'm a fan of. I'm willing to pay for that so I can find my house when I'm going home. But that's it. There's the electricity that you use, 99 cents a day, plus $3.20 for streetlights.
Yeah,
that's it.
And maybe that's blue state versus red state, and not to get political, but less regulation impacts your daily life on many levels.
Yeah, on the positive.
Yeah. So, and we can't do anything about food costs. I can't find an egg to save my life right now. Like, we went to Costco, no eggs. Grocery, I had to drop off my kidney, but like, we did get some eventually, but those are the things I can't control. What can I control? My lights, my lifestyle, how and what I turn on and when I use it. Shouldn't be like should I run the dishwasher right now?
Yeah. Well, and we've talked about this before, but like just gas for your car. I mean, just this morning talked to our aunt, and she was saying that gas
in California
in Bakersfield was like between $4.25 and $4.50 a gallon. And here, our local gas station, the last time I looked, it was $2.62.
Yeah.
So that's almost a $2 difference per gallon.
That was one of my favorite things about our drive across country, was watching it go down every state.
Yeah.
Arizona was still roughly close to what California was.
A little less.
Yeah, just a smidge. But then like New Mexico and Texas and then Oklahoma. And then the closer we got to the East Coast, I was like, what? I kept thinking, did we fill it up? Do I have another tank somewhere? Like, what's going on?
And the other thing, California, you know this as well as I, you get charged 35 cents before you even pumped a drop of gas. 35 cents every time you pump.
Yeah.
In South Carolina, there is no 35-cent charge.
No.
So you could fill up 5 times in one day. You're not going to get hit with that fee. I don't know why you would, but
yeah, little things like that add up. Again, quality of life and how dissatisfied are you? And I know we're not trying to be Debbie Downer and Doug Downer. But we know what it's like to feel like you can't breathe, you can't exhale, and that the waters are getting up around your neck. Like, come on, man, I want to just take a break and, enjoy things. So one of the other things I wanted to share, I don't need any ammunition to give you against Gavin. I'm not a fan. I will tell you straight out, I am not a fan of his governing. Air quotes for those of you on the podcast.
It'll be Gavin Newsom, by the way.
I call him Gabby. He doesn't govern anything, and he loses billions of dollars on the homeless, and then the train to nowhere that's going right through the Central Valley. Like, give me a break with all the things. Anyway, so as of 2024, the marginal state individual income tax rate in California was 13.3%. That's a lot on top of regular life. In South Carolina, it was 6.4. And our governor here in South Carolina, McMaster, by 2025, he wants to reduce that down to 6.
Wow.
So a governor that is governing, that is bringing the personal income tax rate down, take my money, sir.
Yeah, please.
So, and that was as of 2024. So, here we are, early 2025. Imagine the people that are having to rebuild in Pacific Palisades. If that's you, our hearts go out to you, because that is going to be an endeavor. Who knows where you're living? Who knows what your plans are? If you would like to come to South Carolina and see what we are talking about, it's fabulous here.
Yeah. It's like, how in love with the area are you in to go through that process that could take 2 years, 3 years, 5 years to get you maybe not even back where you were, but just, if you want to be in the spot where you've always known, then that's an option. Or you take whatever insurance money you get and you come out here and you buy something outright and
live your life.
You're done.
Yeah. And don't be afraid of the weather. And if you want traffic, we have traffic. You won't miss it.
Yeah. We can provide you with that.
Plenty of traffic for you. You won't feel like you've gone anywhere. But it's really something that we are very passionate about, being former Californians. We cannot preach this loud enough and long enough.
We know how you're feeling.
Yes.
We know what it's like.
Yes.
We know what it's like to go through it.
Yeah.
And we can help you with that part of it too.
Enough with all that heavy stuff. Let's talk about something fun like a Gen X.
How about a Gen X fun fact?
Go.
We got it.
All right.
Okay. If I told you magic cube, would you know what I was talking about?
No, sir. I know about the magic 8-ball.
No. Yeah, it's not that.
Okay.
The magic cube, it was invented in 1974.
Oh.
And when I tell you the name of the guy, it'll all make sense.
Okay.
His name was Erno Rubik.
Erno.
Yeah.
He had to have been like Scandinavian or
I think
something.
he was German or something.
Sure.
Yeah.
Rubik. Oh, well, there you go.
That's right, folks. Rubik's Cube, right? So he invented it in 74. They started selling it in Europe in 78. And then in 1980, when it came to the United States, they called it Rubik's Cube. And between 1980 and 1983, how many do you think they sold?
What happened in 1980? Just that it was the new kid on the block?
It was
everybody was going nuts?
Introduced, and people saw it, and they were like,
I can't imagine. Millions.
Over 200 million Rubik's Cubes were sold between 1980 and 1983.
And you would think I would be able to solve that son of a gun.
I
never could.
I had an easier time setting up utilities and registering cars in South Carolina than I did working a Rubik's Cube.
I cheated. We used to pop off the little
Oh, they would sell you stickers. You could buy a whole set of stickers.
I ain't got time for stickers. I'm popping them off and I'm reorganizing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't with that. I never could do it. I was like, oh, and you see those people doing it in like 0.3 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
Like, how does your brain do that?
Yeah.
I don't like feeling old, so I just go, yay.
Somebody, Justin Bieber knows how to do a Rubik's Cube.
Is that right?
Yeah.
No.
Everybody with us.
And it was ours. It was a Gen X thing. Like, come on.
So that is my fun fact for today.
Listen, we would love to help you consider moving to South Carolina if you are thinking about leaving California. Yep. We know it's a big move, but we know you can do it.
Yep.
We've done it, and it has been a fantastic decision. And it's not just exclusive to us. We want that for you. We would love to hear from you. You can leave a comment, you can shoot us an email, or you can book a call. All of these things are available to you. We are here for you. We would love to see you. Check out that next video or that next podcast and get the lowdown, and we will see you next week.
See you soon.